Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Andrew M. Gideon, an assistant professor at the Department of Biotechnology and Bioinformatics, Bishop Heber College, Trichy. I'm going to speak briefly about Murban concept and how Murban concept explicates the structure function correlations of LDH and the relevance of LDH mediated reactions in both Curie cycle and Warburg effect. So, LDH or lactate dehydrogenase is a tetrameric enzyme that is composed of combinations of two different proteins LDHA and LDHB, which are products of two different genes. The molecular weight of the tetrameric and functionally active LDH is approximately 140 kilodalton, and each monomer has a molecular weight of approximately 35 kilodalton. LDH is a key player in anaerobic glycolysis, aka the Warburg effect, which is a hallmark of cancer cells. LDH catalyzes the reversible reaction, as per literature, of lactate to pyruvate and vice versa. Lactate is formed from pyruvate, the end product of glycolysis. In Curie cycle, for example, when an athlete takes a sprint, there is a rapid depletion of oxygen from muscle myoglobin, and there is a rapid utilization of ATP, creatine phosphate, and muscle glycogen. This glycogenolysis aids in the formation of more glucose, which is utilized through increased glycolytic flux to yield ATP through pyruvate oxidation in the TCA cycle. So when oxygen is absent or present at low concentrations, that is called hypoxia, pyruvate is converted to lactate. So it must be kept in mind that the typical concentration ratios of lactate and pyruvate in various tissues are different, and the ratios are usually at least 10:1, so lactate is more than pyruvate. When lactate builds up during anaerobic glycolysis, it can either go into the mitochondria through the lactate shuttle, or it can be released into the blood. So the excess of lactate, almost 70%, goes to the liver, where it is reoxidized to pyruvate and then reconverted to glucose via gluconeogenesis. This is called the Curie cycle. But there are several conundrums in lactate metabolism. First thing is, why does lactate need to go or be transported to the liver or kidneys while the same LDH enzyme, LDH5 or M4, is found both in the liver and in the muscle? Another important conundrum is the muscle contains 4 times more LDH than the liver. Hence, this does not make any sense from a classical Michaelis-Menten perspective, because differences in Km or Kd cannot explain why the Curie cycle occurs in the first place. So what is the role of H plus ions, protons, and oxygen? And what is the role of free radicals like H2O2, superoxide, and reactive oxygen species like H2O2, which are reported to be involved in the LDH reactions? And why is lactate produced even in the presence of oxygen, which is called the Warburg effect? So if we see in glycolysis, there are classically 10 steps, but modern biochemists, they include LDH mediated pyruvate to lactate conversion to be an additional step number 11. The reactions which involve H plus are not freely reversible in physiology. So LDH activity may or may not be associated with lactic acidosis. So the asterisks which are given in the slide, they indicate 2 minus negative charge on the 6 carbon sugar intermediates. It is clear that 4 minus charges of 1,3-BPG and the 3 minus charge of other 3 carbon high energy phosphate intermediates are more prevalent. And finally, the 1 minus charge on pyruvate or lactate can also be seen. While lactate has a pKa of approximately 3.9, pyruvate has a pKa of 2.45. This means that pyruvate is a better acid than even lactate. So lactate formation should theoretically only increase from a resting concentration of 1.6 to 16 millimolar, which is roughly the physiological concentrations of lactate in various tissues. So this can theoretically increase and stabilize pH rather than make the pH fall. So because pyruvate is a better acid than lactate. Until the lactate formation step in glycolysis, there are only two reactions which directly involve H plus ions. That is, in step number 6, you have the GAPDH, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase step, which involves phosphorylation of a substrate and reduction of NAD plus to form NADH. And there is a liberation of one H plus ion in this step. And in step number 11, LDH is supposed to replenish the nicotinamide pool by oxidizing NADH, which is generated. And in this process, there is a consumption of excess H plus, which is released in step number 6. And hence, this step serves as a pH stat inside the cell. So the negative charges which are formed on the intermediates and the pK of inorganic phosphate alone can explain why lactic acid production may or may not be associated with acidosis. In reactions 1 and 3, ATP is consumed to liberate ADP and to form phosphorylated intermediates, and H plus is produced. In reaction number 7, there is substrate level phosphorylation of ADP, and this does not involve H plus ions. In reaction number 10, the substrate level phosphorylation reaction consumes H plus from the reaction milieu. And in reaction number 6, which is a complex multimolecular step, the delta G, the Gibbs free energy of formation for H plus is roughly minus 452.5 kilojoule per mole, and H plus ions are released or formed in this step, and hence the production of H plus in the GAPDH step is not thermodynamically feasible because the delta G for H plus is not very spontaneous. So the net changes of the glycolytic intermediates are seen to fluctuate in the image. So hence only the role of inorganic phosphate and critical reactions like GAPDH, the proton equilibrium, only these things can explain why lactic acidosis may or may not occur in conjunction with LDH activity. So this is the structure of LDH. You can see that it's a tetramer. The LDH enzyme, the functional LDH enzyme, is a tetramer, and this protein has been colored with 4 different colors for each of the subunits. So the side views are presented in the top panel, and you can see that in the bottom panel, in a tetramer, the active site where NAD or NADH and pyruvate or lactate binding occurs, these active sites are juxtaposed to each other, and you can see a similar view in the diametrically opposite side where active sites are juxtaposed to each other. So, and the dimer interface of two LDH monomers appears to be something like yin and yang coming together. So there are 4 varieties of LDH in the human body: LDH A, B, C and D. Among these, LDH A and LDH B are the predominant gene products. LDH A is expressed from chromosome number 11 P15.4, predominantly in the skeletal muscle, but LDHB gene is located on chromosome 12 P12.2 to 12.1. Hence, LDHA and B are produced from 2 different chromosomes in a tissue-specific manner. LDHC is found in the testis and is produced from chromosome 11 P15.5 to 15.3. LDHA is expressed mainly in the liver, muscle and in the small intestine. LDHB is expressed in the heart, kidneys, for example, and LDHC is found in the testis, and LDHD is found in the kidney, liver and in other tissues. Now we take the predominant types of LDHA and LDHB. LDH1 or H4 or B is expressed in heart, RBCs and brain. This one seems to have a preference for binding lactate over pyruvate. LDH2 or H3M is found in the reticuloendothelial system. LDH3 or H2M2 is found in lungs. LDH4 or HM3 is found in kidneys, pancreas and placenta, and LDH5 is found in liver and skeletal muscle. Now you must understand that these isoforms of LDH which are given in this table here, they are combinations of LDHA and LDHB gene products. So if you have all four monomers of LDHB, that is called LDH1, and you have all four monomers of LDHA coming together, that is called LDH5 or LDHM. So if you see the Leninger textbook, the reaction of pyruvate to lactate involves the coenzyme NADH and H plus to give NAD plus. So L-lactate is formed as a result because of pyruvate reduction. The delta G change, the change in the Gibbs free energy in the standard free energy change is minus 25.1 kilojoule per mole. Now this is kind of readily reversible, and that's why in classical hypothesis of LDH this is a reversible reaction. So you can see the movement of electrons when NAD gets reduced to form NADH. Vice versa, NADH can be oxidized. So there is a 2 electron transfer that is happening in the conversion of NAD plus to NADH. So NADH is utilized in lactate formation and NAD plus is converted to NADH in pyruvate formation. So if we see the active site of LDH, you can see that both for LDHA, which is PDB-ID 1I10, which is given in the left, and LDHB, PDB-ID 1I0Z, you can see that the active site residues are pretty much the same. So there is not much of a difference. If you see in the crystal structures, they have used oxamic acid, OXM, which is an inhibitor of LDH, because it is very similar structurally to both pyruvate and lactate. So the key amino acid residues here are histidine, glutamine. There are 2 arginines, there is 1 aspartate, and there is 1 threonine. You can see the docked pose of NADH within the active site. So the NADH molecule is a long snake-like molecule which is shown in sticks, and you can see that in panel C and D, both of the enzymes appear to be almost identical in structure, and the active site can be seen like a groove, and you can see the NADH or NAD plus sticking out of the active site. So if we take into account the classical LDH mechanism, you can see the image here on the right, which shows the active site residues which participate in the mechanism. Arginine 171 and arginine 109 usually, that is present in the mobile loop. These are having positively charged side chain, and they stabilize negatively charged substrate of either lactate or pyruvate. And aspartate 168 and histidine 195, they form the critical catalytic dyad. So that is the two key residues which are involved in enzymatic action, and the LDH enzyme is known to operate through classical acid-base catalysis. So the aspartate 168 is able to stabilize histidine 195 via H bonding, and arginine 171 helps pyruvate to bind And there is one isoleucine 250 which provides a hydrophobic environment for NADH binding. There are other residues such as glutamine 100, arginine 107, aspartate 166, arginine 169, histidine 193 and threonine 248, which are all conserved in mammalian LDH. But this is the core active site. So you can see the structures of the two proteins which are shown here and the active site binding view of the nicotinamide cofactor. So the active sites of both LDHA and M, LDHB or H are identical. Number 2, NAD or NADH binds first as per literature and only then lactate or pyruvate binds. And the forward and backward reactions are readily reversible. So the panel here, which is shown in beige color, you can see that the LDH can operate via step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or reversibly 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's why we put a pentagram showing the key intermediates in the process. All the corners refer to key intermediates. So the classical forward reaction, which is lactate to pyruvate, involves binding of NAD plus first, step number 5. The KD for NAD plus binding is roughly 0.07 millimolar. Then there is formation of a LDH NAD plus complex. Then lactate binds after NAD plus binds. Step number 4 with a KD of 3.3 millimolar. And then you have a LDH NAD plus lactate complex. Then there is H plus in this reaction. H plus would be consumed or liberated depending upon whether it is the forward or the classical backward reaction. By classical backward reaction, I mean conversion of pyruvate to lactate. So in that case, what would happen is the LDH enzyme would recruit NADH first, step number 1, with a KD of 0.001 millimolar. And then LDH NADH complex is formed, then pyruvate binds, then there is LDH NADH pyruvate complex, and then there is H plus. So what is the role of H plus in this overall process? That is not clearly explained by the classical mechanism. So there is a need to challenge the classical LDH mechanism in our view. So whenever we do any mechanistic studies of enzymes, we always use inhibitors. We try to find out whether the reaction is a competitive inhibition phenomena or if it is non-competitive or if it is uncompetitive. So all reversible inhibitors are either of these three: competitive, non-competitive and uncompetitive. So there are mimics which are similar to pyruvate and lactate, for example, oxamate, and there are molecules which are similar to NADH or NAD plus in structure. There are also interfacial inhibitors. So molecules which are similar to NADH or NAD plus usually are crypt blockers, which will block the mouth of the active site and prevent substrate binding. So if you see the image to the right here, this is the active site, and NADH is bound at the classical active site of LDH M4, that is what you have in the muscle and in the liver, that is LDH5. And very curiously, we docked the tetramer that was available to lactate, and we found that lactate was able to bind at an alternative site rather than in the active site. So this is a very curious finding. Now it is important to remember that the active site of LDH is just the active site opening, the channel is just 4 to 5 angstrom wide and it is 10 angstrom deep. So therefore NADH has to go in and reach all the way till the end where the active site catalytic diode is present, and pyruvate needs to bind after NADH, which means that it has to cross and wade through NADH, which is already bound here, and that brings a very difficult constraint for pyruvate or for lactate for that matter. So now the structure of LDH does not permit the classical mechanism because there are many issues like alternative site binding and the feasibility of small molecule pyruvate or lactate wading through the already bound very long molecule of NAD or NADH. So there are three ways to calculate delta G. One is, in Leninger book they have calculated delta G by taking the redox potentials of resting couples, and they got a value of minus 26 kilojoule per mole. The second way is to calculate the delta G using equilibrium constant K-eq, and Hakala et al. 1956 got a value of minus 66 kilojoule per mole. Now both these values are very minimal and they can be readily reversed in biology, but we calculated delta G of reaction by taking the sum of delta G of products and minusing the sum of delta G of reactants from the sum of delta G of products. And in this case you can see CH3COCOO minus, that is pyruvate, minus 350.8 plus NADH has a delta G value of 1120.1 plus H plus has a value of 452.5 gives lactate CH3CHOH COO minus 313.7 plus NAD plus 1059.1 is equal to minus 476.4 kilojoule per mole. The equilibrium constant is 10 to the power of 83 per molar, which means that the reaction of pyruvate to lactate is highly favored because the delta G value is minus 476.4 kilojoule per mole, which is highly exergonic. Now if you take the reverse of this reaction, not only should you have NADH formation, you should also have H plus formation, and it would be plus 476.4 kilojoule per mole, which is highly difficult, and the equilibrium constant does not vouch for a ready reversal of lactate to pyruvate. So this currently held theory of lactate dehydrogenase being a reversible enzyme projects an energetically disfavored forward reaction. So therefore we sought a novel explanation for that. Now I'll come to that again in some time, but here I need to explain what is the difference. Why does lactate, the metabolic scheme for lactate in normal as well as cancer cells. Now if you take normal cells, in normal cells you can see that the glycolysis is plagued by feedback inhibition. So there is feedback inhibition by end products such as ATP and lower rates of mitochondrial ATP synthesis, because mainly the energy is coming from OXPHOS or oxidative phosphorylation at limiting oxygen concentrations. Oxygen is very vital for the TCA cycle and electron transport chain to occur. In cancer cells, not only is pyruvate kept at low concentrations, but also lactate which is formed is oxidized by the Murzyme activity of LDH using DROS or diffusible reduced oxygen species from the reaction milieu. Now I need to explain about what a Murzyme is. A Murzyme is an enzyme which obeys or behaves using the principle of Murban concept. In Murban concept, which is mild unrestricted burning, there is interfacial chemistry where lipid is a key player, and there is burning, oxidative burning of substrates to obtain energy. So the Murzyme activity of LDH, we report that for the first time that LDH behaves as a Murzyme, and so Here what is happening in cancer cells is that mitochondrial murburn, though it is happening in both non-cancerous normal cells as well as cancerous cells, the additional component of lactate to pyruvate or acetate oxidation via O2 or DROS can only be explained through cytoplasmic murburn, which occurs in cancer cells. So the much needed NAD plus that is going to be utilized again in glycolysis is regenerated, and you can see that in cancer cells these alternate products of pyruvate or acetate, they can go into mitochondria, and there can be much faster and higher yields of ATP through conventional OXPHOS. So this is the difference between cancer cells and normal cells. Now in literature, in many cases, they have shown the involvement of diffusible reduced oxygen species or free radicals in the mechanism of LDH. Though they have not shown that free radicals are involved in the mechanism, the presence of free radicals such as superoxide and mainly H2O2 has been detected in LDH system. Now there's more on that I need to say, but that can be obtained from my recently published paper in Journal of Cellular Physiology. Now we saw something very interesting. When NADH binding to either LDHA or B was pursued in molecular docking using autodock, we saw that NADH was able to bind in the correct orientation with the nicotinamide ring going inside and the adenine ring staying outside or jutting out from the active site. But you take NAD plus and you bind that either to LDHA or B, you can see that the nicotinamide ring, which is the key component in electron transfer, is jutting out of the active site, and the nicotinamide ring is outside and the adenine ring has gone in. We tried this docking several times, but we got the same result, which means that the plus charge on NAD plus may be repelled by the two arginine residues which are at the bottom of the active site. So there is an unfavorable orientation of NAD plus binding. This again shows that NADH may bind and the enzyme might convert pyruvate to lactate efficiently, but the conversion of lactate to pyruvate is impeded because of the unfavorable orientation of NAD plus in docking. So we have, to keep things short, there is a lot of molecular docking that we did, but the key salient feature is that in LDH1 or A or M, the IC50 and the KD or KI, both in silico and experimental values were compared, and in most cases the binding of lactate, pyruvate for example, NAD plus, NADH, we pursued all these, and from sesamol all these are inhibitors. Most of these are LDH muscle specific inhibitors, but we can see that they are all bound unfavorably mostly, and there are very few which are bound inside the active site. But on the right panel, if you take LDHB or H, which is heart specific, you can see that most of them are bound perhaps in the right orientation, or they block the active site channel. So we wanted to pursue this interesting theme, and you can see all the left panels which are colored gray are human LDHA protein, and all the right panels are the heart specific LDHB protein. So we took AXKO0046, epigallocatechin gallate, gossypol, GlaxoSmithKline inhibitor, pentaogalloyl glucose, and most of these inhibitors, in my opinion, are too large to enter the narrow active site of LDH. The only way they can inhibit is to bind to the mouth of the active site. So this is just a salient feature for sake of comparison which I have projected here. You can see in the top panel LDHA, the LDHA or M, the muscle and liver specific LDH, binding of AXKO0046, which is touted to be a LDHB or H specific inhibitor. So it binds to an alternative site which is far away from the active site, which is shown in yellow, marked in yellow circle. And in case of LDHB, it is found to dock at the mouth of the active site. Now this validates our docking methodology because we got the same result as what is given in the literature. But interestingly, when we take pentaogalloyl glucose and we bind it to LDHA or M, we can see that it occupies the same alternative site. PGG is known to be a very specific inhibitor of LDHA or M and not LDHB or H. The IC50 values of PGG reported in literature are in nanomolar range. Now if you see the right panel here at the bottom, LDHB or H with PGG, you can see that it blocks the mouth of the active site because it's too large to enter. So when we took other salient examples, now we took other mammalian LDH proteins, for example rat, rabbit and pig, and we compared the structures of the proteins with human LDH. Now the active site location is given in red oval or circle, and the inhibitor binding location during docking is given in rectangle, which is yellow. So you can see that in rat LDHA with gossypol is a natural plant compound, you can see that both the active site location and the binding location is the same. Very interestingly, the active site is wide open and it is exposed to the solvent, unlike pig or human LDH, where the active site is closed and there is a narrow active site channel. In rabbit LDH with gossypol binds at an alternative site, but the active site is somewhere else. In pig LDHA, CDMIM-QABA, a synthetic inhibitor, binds somewhere at an alternative site, but it does not bind anywhere near the active site. Interestingly, this molecule is a very good inhibitor of LDHA or muscle type LDH. In pig LDHB, that is the heart specific LDH with EGCG, we can see that once again that alternative site binding phenomenon is seen. Even lactate was seen to bind there in muscle LDH. So the active site topography varies. Inhibitors dock at alternative sites as well. So what is the difference between classical and Murburn enzyme catalysis? In classical enzyme catalysis, there is an enzyme, there is a confined active site and a substrate binds to the active site, and only then catalysis occurs either through acid-base catalysis or through covalent catalysis. But in Murburn enzyme catalysis, there is an interaction site to which a substrate can bind anywhere on the enzyme. There is a redox center which produces DROS or diffusible reduced oxygen species. This DROS goes and attacks the substrate and converts it to a product. So the catalysis is not direct, but it is mediated via the intermediacy of DROS. In classical electron transfer, there is a donor-acceptor physical binding and there is donation of electron by the donor to the acceptor. In Murburn electron transfer, the donor and acceptor need not physically interact like in the case of protein-protein interactions, and DROS can mediate the electron transfer. So the Murburn equations for LDH, you can see that the CH3CHOH, COO minus, this is lactate, plus O2 in the liver can give pyruvate plus H2O2. So what we are saying is that lactate goes to the liver because there is an abundance of hemoproteins in the liver, as witnessed by its reddish brown color. There is a lot of cytochrome P450 reductase and cytochrome P450 system which can produce humongous amounts of ROS. So the delta G of reaction is minus 106 kilojoule per mole and the equilibrium constant is 10 to the power of 19. But if we take into account the coupling of drug metabolism RH and the DROS in milieu with the endergonic reaction of pyruvate synthesis from lactate, RH plus O2 plus NADPH gives ROH plus NADP plus OH minus. Lactate plus NAD plus gives pyruvate plus NADH or NADPH plus H plus. So in this case, the delta G of reaction in the aqueous phase is minus 375 kilojoule per mole and the equilibrium constant is 10 to the power of 67. Now a key facet here is that there is a gain of approximately 79 kilojoule per mole owing to water formation, where there is fusion of H plus and OH minus during coupling of lactate to pyruvate conversion and drug metabolism. So there is water formation, and this makes the reaction much more feasible because you can see that RH plus O2 plus NADPH gives ROH plus NADP plus OH minus, and there is minus 773 kilojoule per mole that is formed. That is the delta G value, and this is highly exergonic and thermodynamically feasible. So that is why we say that the Murban view of LDH mechanism means that drug metabolism, when coupled to lactate conversion, would make it a very thermodynamically feasible process. So if we see, I'm going to skip this slide. I have simplified this in the next one. So this is modified backward cycle versus Murban forward cycle. And there are also miscellaneous reactions which can occur. And this will be explained in the next slide. So in the modified backward reaction, pyruvate must bind first. This is a very important consideration because NADH, if it occupies the active site channel, pyruvate has to wade through inside to find the catalytic dyad. And in terms of collision theory, this is a very difficult process to achieve, where pyruvate has or lactate has to go exactly and bind. In the Murban scheme, lactate can bind anywhere on the surface of the enzyme as shown and not to the active site. And through the agency of DROS, which is found in the liver hepatocyte milieu, the DROS, which is generated by the cytochrome P450 reductase system, can attack the lactate and couple drug metabolism to lactate to pyruvate conversion, and therefore binding is independent in the forward Murban scheme of oxidation. So we have published these insights in the prestigious Journal of Cellular Physiology in December 2021. So with this, I thank you for your patient listening, and cheers.